Yo, what is going on, everybody? Hello. It is so good to see you all here on this fine Tuesday. Sorry, I know I'm streaming a little bit later than I normally do, but it's been a little bit of a busier morning, and this week has just been crazy. This month has been a little nuts for me, but in a good way, I would say. So, where are we at right now? We're going to give people a chance to come filter in, and I just want to make sure that everything looks good on my end. Give me one sec, guys. Okay. And while we give people a chance to filter in, I'm going to make sure all the settings look good here. Stream health looks positive. And let's dive in and do a little analysis of where the market is at. So we hit 50K Bitcoin yesterday, and then of course we had a subsequent drop down into the 48 range today, but we're back up to 49.6, and I would say that this is definitely a good time to be definitely a good time to be in crypto, that's for sure. ETH hit 27, I think. And of course, the rest of the market is kind of following. You can see Solana up to 113. My goodness, that's going to be a fun one to watch. Even though the network just went down recently, which is always a little bit scary, just a little bit. Overall, SPS looking quite solid. We're back over 2.4 cents. Again, I think that SPS is going to follow the market ever so slightly, but we're still minting way too much of it every single day, and people just like selling SPS. It's a fun token to sell. So I anticipate that we're probably going to continue to see sell pressure on this, but hopefully we can overcome it. DEC is looking good at PEG, vouchers at almost 3.3. Team has been burning some SPS, so you can see we're in a good spot overall. We're almost at 50 million SPS burned just for DEC, and then that's not including the other 62 million that was burned from node licenses, which we still don't have any updates on. But overall, lots of SPS out there, decent amount of SPS burned. Rebellion packs are doing good. The arbitrage is still there, which is always awesome to see. GLX looking solid at 0.6 of a penny. Crop token. Now, I haven't been really on my game with decrops. I mean, I've been playing like the bare minimum, but it's really cool to see the crop token popping up. Very, very happy for that project to essentially see this thing do like a 50% increase from just being at 0.002 not too long ago. And then, of course, we got Golem Overlord with Part and Shard, Terracore kind of doing the same thing. These projects are just like mirroring one another at this point. But yeah, that's the main thing. I mean, so around the Hive ecosystem, it's looking rather solid. Rise of the Pixels, I haven't really looked into that yet. And then the HoloZing side of things, let's see, where's everything on for HoloZing? I just keep this tab open and I'll go claim, but I have no idea where this project is at or what's going on with it. But the APRs are still, no, they've come down a little bit. I don't know, man. This is crazy to me. It's just like, I know you're coming out with a game, but why did you launch a token before the game was ready? Like, you didn't need to, unless you're dumping on the community in order to help fund the game, which is like not cool. And I'm not saying that's what they did here. I have no idea. It just boggles my mind that, tokens get launched and distributed before games and projects are actually out and the utility is there. It's one of the things that I'm excited for with Arcade Colony, because you see this, and again, it's not just Hive based games, it's not just Splinterlands. I mean, every project has done this for the most part, right? But you're able to get with Splinterlands, not with Splinterlands, but with Arcade Colony, if the game launches roughly around the same time and there's a significant amount of syncs in game for Colony, or specifically the script token, that'll be fun, right? Because people will be coming in, they'll want to play the game, and hopefully they'll start syncing script tokens right away. As for GLX, we saw that where the token got launched, the game wasn't ready. We thought the game was going to be ready like 3 or 4 months after the token launched, and it wasn't until like a year later. year plus. And I mean, yes, I know the game is out, but it's not in its final form yet. And then with SPS, we've just been giving out way too much SPS for stuff that hadn't been delivered yet, right? So tower defense, land, for example. So lots of SPS out there, but we are approaching the 50% mark, which should make things really interesting. We're approaching the 50% of all SPS minted, as well as the 4% of all SPS being burned, which should be pretty cool, I would say. Aside from that, not too much else. We haven't seen too many Chaos Legion packs get opened. We've seen sales for Rebellion somewhat stall out here. What do we at? 783? Am I doing the math right? Yeah, roughly 763,000 packs. Node licenses, paying out 37% APR. That's not bad. But let's go over here to the marketplace and let's take a closer look with Rebellion overall. So actually, we got Rebellion Core already. So you can see it's not that there's low liquidity. I mean, there is low liquidity. Let's actually start all the way with commons. So you need 400 to max these cards. All right, there's not even 400 available. Granted, if we were to go, but there's not even like high level ones. Yeah, so in a lot of cases, there's just not enough BCX. But I think people are just slowly and steadily like leveling these up because I don't know, at least for me, I haven't like really needed them. Now, I'm sure at the higher echelons of champ, that's probably going to be the case. But let's go to rares. I really want to see oh wow, look at this card, Moxie and Rebel, and Anath Soothsayer. Both of these up here competing with the summoners. That's kind of rare. Pun was not intended, but that is rare because I don't think you see that even with oh gosh, what's that called? Chaos Legion. Let's look at Chaos Legion Core for a second. Yeah, see, look. The highest unit is still not even at general Sloan levels. So you can clearly see that there's a decent amount of liquidity crunch that's happening because people are just scooping up cards as they need them. Very interesting. Oh, here's another one, Wailing Wraith. And Anarchon Bolter. Now, where is this all of them? 1, 2, 3, 4. Where's the Fire Summoner? Oh my gosh, look at how low the Fire Summoner is. 34 cents. The thing is, there's just no place in the meta for this. Like, the only time you'd ever, in my opinion, ever want to use this card is if you had to play fire only in so you have a rule set that was fire only and magic only. That's the only time it makes sense. So I can see why this thing has no value. It's kind of sad, actually. But hello, General Sloan 2.0. I mean, General Sloan's actually even better than this card. Let's be real. Fascinating. Okay, hold up. I need to see. Where do we stack up? So if we just look at summoners. So I'll jump into chat in just a minute, guys. So look at this. Look at this. 66,000 cards, 68,000 cards, only 4,000, not even 4,000. And these two are more expensive. That's nuts. But yo, check this out. There's not a lot of liquidity on Kelia either. Well, granted, there's a lot of max copies out there, so the BCX available for sale is definitely high. But this is interesting. Okay, hold on. We'll go to units real quick, and then I promise I'm going to jump into the chat. So what's the highest unit? I think it was Medallion Garden, 14 cents. Huh. So check that. There is nothing in Chaos Legion units that are higher than Rebellion units. Not even close. 14 cents to 23 cents is the okay. Hold up. Let's just go to Epics real quick. I think this is going to be the same thing. 65 cents for Wave Brood. Man, remember when these cards were like dollars? That sucks. It's just been sad to see Chaos Legion. So much hope. And then finally, legendary cards. The legendary cards are probably the most depressing for me. Because like to see Carnage Titan going for $1.47, to see Bakjira going for $3. This is excuse me, this is the most expensive legendaries going for $3. And I remember when it first came out, it was going for like $30. Granted, you know, it was higher then, but there's just too many cards. But you know, one thing that we could or should do is we should see what the like how many players do we need in Champ to get a max level in order for us to eat through all the excess cards, because there's a lot of cards still. But okay, let me catch up on the chat real quick. Say hello to you guys. All right, JB in the house. Did you get an olive tree? I did not. Excuse me, I did not. I hope it works out well for you though, if you did. Icy Flow, what's up? Red X, you got 5 olive trees. Congratulations. Very nice. Thank you very much for liking the video. Icy Flow says celebrate 50% with the SPS halving. Again, Icy Flow, that doesn't solve the problem that we've talked about this before. That doesn't solve the problem that there's too much out there already. So, I mean, we can cut supply, but we'll still be distributing. What we need is for demand to pick up. And, you know, the only way that really happens, in my opinion, is we either destroy the supply, we burn the supply that's currently out there because it's oversupplied, or you get a ton of new players to come into the mix. And I don't know. I don't know what's easier. I mean, probably a mix of both, to be honest. But getting players to come and actually stay, I think, is going to be still relatively difficult unless we get the new player experience, you know, short up. We get SPS going slightly higher. I'm trying to figure out, like, when will SPS become like a contender? I don't know what market cap it would be, but what the hell just happened? That was weird. My video just restarted. Okay. Is what it is. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, again, I'm not against the halving. And well, here's the thing. I think that we're gonna hit some kind of, it won't be a halving, but we're gonna hit something whenever the rewards start to get low in, we'll say, like a year or two. Dude, what is going on with this stream? Are you guys able to watch okay? Because this, okay, seems like it. Whenever the rewards start to get depleted, meaning that we are running out of the, you know, coming up to the end of the 65 months, that's going to be an interesting conversation, because we can't just continue giving out like 7.5, you know, million SPS per month to ranked. In fact, you know, it'll be a fun little exercise here. SPS white paper. Let's see if we can hop into that. Sorry, I don't know how to make it dark mode, but you can just listen if it hurts your eyes. Oh, they changed this. I forgot. Wait, where's the distribution? Staking, moving stages, earning. Oh, they changed this a lot. Do they not have the distribution? Wait, hold on. Is this this? No, this is SPS. Read the SPS white paper. Okay, there we go. There we go. Token distribution. So check it out. We had 400 million. Oh, I've been lying to you all. I keep saying the DAO is supposed to get 400 million, but that is not right. It's only 300 million. So that video I put out was wrong. Sorry, I must have mixed these numbers up. So 400 million went out for the airdrop. The DAO is set to get 300 million over the course of 65 months, of which, we should be like halfway there. But I don't think the DAO doesn't have 150 million SPS in it. Again, this is just, data integrity. It's not a strong suit, sadly. Private sale. All right, this was unlocked and dumped on us. This unallocated is an interesting one. This must be what was originally for the team. But it'd be nice if that was just tossed into the DAO. Partners, advisors. All right, so this unlocks over 24 months. Okay, so this was given out and dumped on us already. Play to earn over 65 months, and then staking. Okay, over 65 months. Now, keep in mind, the staking rewards, we are now halfway through, right? We started in July of 2021. So July to, we'll say January, 6 months plus 2 years. So that's 30 months right there. So we're almost halfway. So we are at 30 out of the 65 months for the staking requirement. Now, the play to earn rewards, which is broken up. Play to earn reward pools. Okay, so the play to earn reward pools. Oh, this is probably a better way to look at it. Wait, hold up. Why do they have this all weird? Oh, staking LP Oracle. And then play to earn. So the play to earn, I'm assuming, goes under ranked battles. Does that include land? It has to, right? Tournaments and guild brawls. Now, tournaments started 31 months ago, right? Ranked battles started the July afterwards. So 31 minus 12. So we're only 19 months out of 65 into the ranked battles. Same with the guilds. We're only 19 months. But tournament prizes should have been given out. Land only started like a year ago, a little bit over a year ago. So we're only 12 months into that. All right, and this is 65 months also. Interesting. Guilds. All right. Well, it is what it is. All right. Let me jump back into the chat. Sorry about that, guys. I always go down the rabbit hole. All right, Lawrence, what's going on? New Age. Good to see you here, brother. Hey, so New Age question. Well, question for you. Question for everybody. I was talking with Darkest Night, and I think we're going to try and actually put something on the calendar here for After Dark 2. If anybody's interested in joining, it's just going to be open like the last one. If you're interested in going, feel free to hit me up. But we're thinking of doing something at the end of April in Vegas. And so it'll literally be 6 months after Dark 1. And it'll be right around the time of the Bitcoin halving. I think it'll be shortly after the Bitcoin halving. I think the halving is right now scheduled to be on the 20th. So this would be like the weekend after that. But if anybody's interested, let me know. We haven't come up with any details yet, but we were just talking about doing a trip recently. And then she's just like, I like Vegas. And I was like, you know what? I kind of like Vegas too. And it's not going to be as busy because the Super Bowl will be over. So that's kind of on our mind now for the end of April. Just for a weekend, we're gonna go hang out, play, eat, talk Splinterlands. Maybe we'll set up something if there's something going on there. But yeah, that's the thought right now. Just casual meetup. Now, here's the thing. I know Vegas can be super expensive. And I've already told Darkest Night that like I'm trying to buy as much Bitcoin as I can right now. So if we do Vegas, I don't want to do the expensive version of Vegas because there's definitely a way to do it that's not, you know, super pricey the way that it was for Splinterfest. JB, I just got one red. Nice. Congratulations. I'm assuming that's the olive tree, right? Onk12, what's going on? Thank you very much. I appreciate you. RedX, one is better than none, JB. Yeah, Web3 mobile gaming is hype right now. Earn on the go. That has to be what Heroes of Mavia is doing. So can you earn? You know, I've only heard about Mavia, but I don't really know what's going on there. I need to check it out a little bit more. So Arcade Colony is bullish. Yeah, well, you know what? They don't have the mobile thing right now, but hopefully that does go live sooner rather than later when they launch the game. Now, what's this Mavia thing? Do they have a token? Heroes of Mavia up 5.8%. Ooh, $8 token. Oh, this thing literally just launched. Holy moly. From $3 to $8 in a week. Well, this is probably okay. I don't know anything about the tokenomics here, so I don't really want to speak on it. But where is market cap fully diluted? So we have 1/8 of the tokens out already. Oh, 30 million out of 250 million max supply. Interesting. Okay. I'll be curious to see what's going on there. Hold on, I just want to see how Prime is doing. Back over $10. You love to see it. Okay, you know what? Let's just do all of gaming right now. Because I just want to see how it ends up playing out. How things are lining up. Oh, snap. I didn't realize Beam was this. Oh, Beam is at a $1.4 billion market cap? I did not think it was that high. Okay. Okay, then. That's interesting. Immutable's about 4 million. Dude, look at these guys on the 7-day. This is crazy. Axie's at 750. We're saying about $1 billion market cap. I don't even know what's happening with Axie, so I just want to see where they were at from an all-time high market cap. Why are you not listening to me? Max and market cap. So this thing topped out at what, maybe 10 billion, 10.5 billion almost. So, you know, that just comes back to the whole look at how much the token dilution is, right? So even for something like Axie Infinity, it could do a 10x and hit a new all-time high, roughly 10x, and hit a new all-time high from a market cap perspective, but it would only be at $75, right? $76 for a token value. When this thing hit like 160 back in 2021. So all these tokens just getting crazily diluted, which is why it's going to be the new tokens that pop. Like even Gala's going to struggle. ApeCoin, I mean, this came out like after most of the hype, but still. It's coins that or tokens that don't have a lot of circulating supply, but have an insane amount of demand. Like, think about it. There was only 200 million SPS when Chaos Legion presale began, which was in October of 2021. There's only 200 million compared to 1.2 billion now, right? So 1/6 of the supply, but you probably had way more players wanting it than, you know, the amount of players that we have now wanting it. So it was easy for that thing to like just do extreme movement. Shoot. I'll reply later. Big time is down. Let's see, where was big time earlier this year? Or last year, I guess. Okay, so I would actually consider this a new token. I know. It's, you're gonna say, well, it's not that new. Came out in October of 2023, right? So we're already almost at like 5 months, but it hasn't experienced a true bull run yet. And so what I'm trying to show you here is that, sure, okay, this thing popped up from 16, 15 cents all the way up to 80 cents. And so you see that initial spike there, but there will be another bull run effect. And keep this in mind, right? There's only 430 million tokens out of the total supply of 5 billion. Again, I don't know anything else about the tokenomics, sinks, or all that stuff, but this is a very small amount in relation, right? So it's not even 1/10 of the overall supply. So imagine this, like if we were to compare this to Splinterlands, they're at a point now where they had like less than 300 million SPS out at the time. And they had even less than that probably when, this popped off. All right. Let's see. Icy Flow says more SPS LPs like Matic BTC will eat up some of the current supply. I like the idea of a liquidity pool with Matic, but where would we do one with Bitcoin? Unless you're going to do like a wrapped Bitcoin on one of the other things, but I don't know. I don't think there's a DEX that we'd be able to set that pair up, unless it's like a wrapped version of Bitcoin, or if it's a centralized exchange that offers it and help SPS rise with the tide. I mean, it would help for that. But most of the exchanges now are able to like operate in fiat. So if you go like even crypto.com, for example, like it's paired with USDT or USD. I remember 2017 was a different time, man. It's just like, oh, if you wanted to buy a token, all the pairs, and you would have to go to like there weren't any DEXs at the time, right? So you'd have to go to some like shady exchange that was out there, and then well, actually, Binance at the time, you were able to use the full Binance here in the US. So I was using a lot of Binance before it became Binance US. And it was just like everything was paired with Bitcoin. There was no pairs with fiat. So it's just like you had to buy Bitcoin and then immediately turn around and then sell it for some other token. So it's crazy to see how far the industry has come since then. Luke, what's going on, man? Good to see you here. That works for me with at least a month advance notice. All right, cool. We'll continue. We'll continue to put it out there. I just talked with him, I think, over the weekend, and we were like, you know what? Let's make this happen. Like at the end of the day, the way that we're viewing it is we just want to take a trip. We just want to go hang out somewhere, and we're gonna like keep it as like a little bit of an open invite. So if people are down and they want to come hang with us, that's cool. If not, then we're just gonna go tear up the town and see what happens. All right, Bolts, what's going on? Good to see you. International Travel Channel, Guten Tag. Icy Flow says, SPS is missing out on this hype cycle. We need to do something now. Do you guys think that the killer whales stuff that's happening in March could be a big catalyst? I don't know. I'm wondering if... here's the thing. It was recorded in October, according to Aggie, or at least something that I saw that Aggie said. So it was a while ago, but there seems to be a lot of hype around that show coming up. And I wonder if there, the whole, there's no such thing as bad press ends up being something significant. Like even if Aggie doesn't, sell it well, he's a character. So maybe, he says something funny or does something funny and you get, I don't know, people coming to check out the game, but it's just so far back. Keep in mind, October was no Rebellion yet. We just had the Rebellion pre-sale. Obviously, the team was probably still going through a little bit of turmoil. There was no land yet, and we didn't even have a hint of like ranked about to get reworked. So yeah. All right, International Channel. Could you make a tutorial sometime about how the HBD with a 20% APR works in details? I mean, what do you need to know about it? It's just they just print it out of thin air. I don't know how sustainable it is. I think I don't know how sustainable it is. I don't know how robust it is. But my assumption is that if Hive ever got to the same place that Luna did, it would get attacked and they would depeg it. I know that there are certain safeguards in place for HBD compared to UST, which was the stablecoin for Terra Luna. But I don't know. Oh, you just want a tutorial of how to do it. How to swap Hive to HBD and all the steps. It's relatively simple. I don't know if I'd make a video for a tutorial. That's extremely specific, but you just do swap.hive to HBD. And then I believe if you go to your wallet, you can withdraw HBD to your wallet. And then so you put the amount and then your wallet here, which I don't know. I think you just type your username in there. So whatever your username is, and then that'll show up in Keychain, and then you can go immediately just throw it in Keychain or hit it into savings from Keychain. Let's see. All right, Ghosty BG, what's going on? Good to see you here. Luke says, I didn't realize how good I was at moon carts. Was dominating on the event. Yeah, I mean, you were killing it. A lot of people thought you were cheating, just like me. But no, I think you're probably just good at the game. Need to do another poker stream to discuss. Oh, that is something that I feel has been a missed opportunity since, gosh, it's been what, 3-4 months? Yeah, almost coming up on 4 months since After Dark. And I definitely wanted to do more poker stuff. I'll try to connect with Virus and see if we can set up something soon. Poker stream would be fun. I thought, who I thought was going to do it more often. Maybe he is, and I just haven't like connected with him or got the invite. Was Tails, because Tails ran it that one time, and it was a fun stream. But yeah, we could definitely try to do some more poker here on stream. I think it'd be fun. And then of course try to give SPS a little bit more utility. All right, so my tower defense packs still making SPS, but no game to play. That's all good. I mean, it's not all good, but I'm with you. I don't know what's going to happen with it. I just hope that there is like a plan to take advantage of the bull run. And I know like bull run may not even fully happen until 2025. And I've given them mentally until the end of the year to get this game out. But it's like, there's so much interest in crypto right now, not from normies, but from everybody who's already been in the space and has remained in the space, right? People are looking for cool stuff. They're, checking out all these videos, listening to all these influencers. I mean, I'm out there too, right? Just like, okay, what other games are out there? What else is happening? What are the narratives in crypto this time around? And obviously gaming is a huge one. And that it would be perfect. It would be perfect to be able to get that out, by the summer. Is that asking too much? Maybe that's asking too much, right? Like I said, mentally, emotionally, I'm like, I just hope they get it out by the end of the year. But I think that there could be a very fun gaming AI or something run this summer after the Bitcoin halving, because we're starting to see the supply shock with Bitcoin already. These ETFs are buying up crazy amounts of Bitcoin, and I don't know. I mean, they're buying crazy amounts of Bitcoin, And it's going to be interesting. It is going to be interesting. I got a single pack. Nice. Wait, what did you get a single pack of? Oh, of Tower Defense. I thought maybe you got a Mooncard pack already. Darkest Night gave up SPS. What do you mean? I mean, he sold a bunch out, and I don't know that he's bought back in, and I don't know if he's planning to buy back in. Alex, I got 200. Nice. So Harry says, SPS is fine. We are burning so much right now while its price is low. This will not be possible when it hits 20 or 30 cents or higher. Well, I agree with you that it's not even possible when it's 20 or 30 cents, but I don't think that we're burning as much as we need to right now. The more that we're able to burn right now with SPS at 2 cents, right? It really limits the supply if we're able to pull in a lot of new players during the bull run. Now, I do believe we will be able to pull in a decent amount of players, but just imagine, like, if think about it this way. Let's say somebody wants to come in and like they want to play at like diamond level and they want, I don't know, 100,000 SPS, which means for every like million that we're burning now, that's 10 players that wouldn't be able to play at that level. Now, I know it seems like that could be a deterrent, but people chase rising prices. And so if there's, if we get like 1,000 or 10,000 new players to check out the game over the next 6 months, like serious people checking out the game that are ready to invest, that want to like buy things and be a part of like the ecosystem, not just like people who fly by night, whatever, but people that actually want to check out the game and have money ready to put into it. Just imagine like 10,000 people. Just imagine like how much more SPS we could be burning right now, because for every million, that would be like 10 less players that would be able to play up in diamond, right? Not, I think 100,000 is diamond, but yeah, I don't know. It's definitely something to consider. Ola Art says, when SPS to the moon? Harry says within the next year. I don't know. I mean, again, the Bitcoin halving tends to find its top somewhere like in the 12 to 18 month range after the halving. That is April to October of 2025. A lot of people are thinking that, this time is different, right? And the truth is that in some ways, yes, it is, because you have the floodgates of money open to it, where, everybody and their mom and their grandma that wants to buy Bitcoin will have the ETF available to them. And you're already seeing the ETFs gobble up a ton of Bitcoin off the marketplace. So could be interesting. The fact that we're already at 50K out of the, we're not very far from all-time high. I don't know where we got to in 2017, but 2020. Actually, you know what? We have this open. So let's go back to Bitcoin. Big Daddy Bitcoin. And let's go to max. So in 2020, like, check this out. So the highest we were at was 2019. We were on like 11 or 12K. And then we like just dipped down. And then in 2020, early like February of 2020, we popped up to almost 10K. Oh, we did get to 10K, which was like 50%, right? The previous all-time high was 20K. So the fact that we jumped up to 10K, we're only at 50% of that. And then of course, COVID and all that stuff. But then, there was like this inevitable rise that happened over the rest of the year and, led to the new all-time high by December of that year. Now, here's the thing. We are already at 50K versus like, was it 69, 70K that we topped out at? We're already at 50K. The halving has not happened yet. See, the halving happened like Halving happened, I think, in May of 2020, right? And then, of course, like everything was like super low already because of COVID. But then you can see, like after the halving, it's just like boom, there's a supply shock. There's a supply shock, and there's the demand, right? All of a sudden, we hit new all-time high, and everybody's like, "Wait, what? Bitcoin's new all-time high? What's going on?" Boom. 2021 was a fun year. But we're already at 50K, and we haven't hit the halving yet. I don't know. That maybe this time is different. I have no idea. Luke says, when I was in the call with Aggie and Weirdbeard, I was saying how glad. Okay, I'm gonna add some more to it. I was saying how I was glad they made this on Unity, and they mentioned how much of a struggle Smilla's dev is. I can understand from web dev. Web dev is much harder than Unity development. Well, so here's the thing. How difficult is it to be able to like pull in something Unity and then actually give it, the blockchain integration that it needs in order for it to be an appropriately labeled Web3 game? I don't know. But it sounds like Aggie and, team, like the Invenium team, have figured out how to do that at scale. So I don't know how many games they're going to be able to pull in, but I really hope it's multiple games over the next 12 months that they're able to pull in and really launch on the platforms, on both platforms, GLS and Arcade Colony. Ola Art is asking when AI cards. Oh, you're in the wrong game for that. That's going to be Parallel Colony and Prime. Icy Flow says, if we don't fix SPS tokenomics, then it won't moon. Okay, so what else is your fix aside from the halving? Again, I'm not opposed to a halving, but a halving doesn't solve the demand problem. It solves part of the supply problem. It solves the emission part of the supply problem. It doesn't even solve the oversupply. There's just not enough people that want SPS, and we already have too much. So I'm trying, if we do the halving, which I am for, if somebody wrote a decent proposal and that came up, I would very much consider voting for it. But I don't think that is the only fix that's needed. And in fact, I don't think that that's going to have the impact from that wouldn't be felt in time for the bull run. Because I'd say we probably have, I don't know. I'm just pulling this number out of nowhere with no evidence or anything, so take it with a grain of salt. But I'd say we probably have maybe like 400 million extra SPS right now. I know the player base has grown, their appetite for SPS has grown, but I think a lot of people are holding more SPS than they actually need. And if SPS were to do any kind of upward momentum, they would immediately sell. So I think we look at this 1.2 billion and it's just like, oh, well, that's too much. But how much is it too much by? Obviously, that's an impossible number to calculate, but the benefits of holding that much SPS are limited from a gameplay standpoint, right? So yes, you do get SPS rewards, you do get vouchers, you do get, I don't know, if you can, here's the thing, you can rent out the SPS, right? But the rental market for that is not even that high. So all these people who are holding SPS right now, extra SPS, and then just renting it out on the market, they're not even like making a huge return, which just shows that the appetite for SPS, both from a sale and from a rental perspective, is not there. And that's with the supply we already have. Okay. That's with the supply that we already have. So again, the halving, cool, but it doesn't solve where we're at now. Now, obviously the team is trying to handle that by making a player experience that is much more intuitive and conducive to newer players. But when that comes out and when the effects of that are fully felt and when the team actually starts engaging in any kind of serious marketing, that all remains to be seen. Now, they may not even have to do that. Again, if the rising tide raises all ships and Bitcoin hits a new all-time high sometime this year, which would be crazy. I'm sure a lot of people will be looking for gaming content. And here's the thing, Bitcoin doesn't even need to be the one that does it. Like Bitcoin could actually have like a boring summer where maybe we get up, into the 50s and then we just stay there, right? We don't get close to new all-time high. We just stay there. But it leads to a crazy alt season because people feel a lot of confidence that like, all right, halving is done. Supply shock is being felt. We're slowly and steadily going to see this, start to rise up. And, it just takes one game, man. It just takes one game. And that could bring in the masses. Luke says, I wouldn't know blockchain implementation, but from a game standpoint, gotcha. Okay. Although all the FUD, I still believe that SPS plus nodes gain is one of the most promising among all other crypto. Personally, I'm investing big in here. So I remember you bought SPS at the bottom. You sold at the local top was like 3.5 cents or something like that. Are you buying back in now? Is this one of your big plays? So it's funny because I was on the phone with Darkest Night earlier today, and we were talking, and like, I'm gonna say this publicly. I said I never would. Damn it! Now I caught myself. I really shouldn't. I'm gonna tell you what I told him. Okay. And I just won't give a specific number. I told him that there's no doubt in my mind that SPS is going to reach X amount, and it's a very low conservative number, right? And just thinking about the rising tide raises all ships, and thinking about the runway that Bitcoin potentially has over the next 18 months, and thinking about the narratives around gaming and all the work that the team is doing to get the game in a much better place, all of the things that the other side of the company is doing with GLS and now Arcade Colony that could potentially bring more people into the Hive ecosystem. All this stuff combined, right? All this stuff combined, I look at SPS and I say, in a bull run, I would expect it to hit at the very least X, this amount, right? Which is higher than we're currently at. It's a couple multiples higher than we're currently at. Again, I don't want to give a price prediction because that's just not going to be helpful anywhere. But that's just my belief, right? That's just my belief that we're going to hit that. So you can try to like bank on that. I mean, you could try to go like super heavy. Is that the best place to throw your capital, right? Is the best place for you to make a speculative bet? Again, that's up to the individual. And that was just kind of like the nature of our conversation. It's just like, where do you allocate money in the upcoming bull run? But to me, Splinterlands has upside potential, even very limited. And this is what I've said, all the way through, where it's just like here's the thing, they can hit the bull run running, or they can limp into it, but it doesn't matter because I think there's still going to be at least some kind of baseline rise in value. And we've seen that through the October pump, right? Or through the Q4 pump last year, and through the we'll just call it like recent pump right now with the Bitcoin ETF, right? So I mean, we haven't pumped up that much, but it's better than 2.2 cents. So all that stuff being said, there is a baseline expectation that I have for SPS, and I'm trying to plan accordingly for that in terms of like, okay, like how much would I put in here, if anything, right? How much would I put in here versus how much I already have, and what will be my sell points, right? What will be the places that I take profit at? But as fun as that is to think about for me, I like to think about what price do we need to be at in order for Splinterlands to catch other people's attention in the way that Axie Infinity did back in 2021. I think I put it out there that like 7 cents would make things really interesting, which is about, or 7.5 cents maybe. So it's about like a 3x from where we're at right now. I think that's doable, even in the short term. But that takes a lot of people coming to check out the game before assets have started to dry up in supply. meaning that still going to be excess cards. There's still going to be excess SPS. But either we as a community find a way to burn a lot of that SPS through the things that we need. Although I think the community is really, really tapped out now. I mean, Rebellion sales are just stalled. I mean, they're moving along fine, right? They're moving along fine. Rebellion is going to be fine. But obviously, if we've already sold half of what Matt expected to sell over the course of a year, and we've done that within 2 months, then, the rest of the year is going to be quite boring. We're going to sell like 1,000 to 2,000 packs a day, and we'll still hit our goal. And that's great, but that's not going to move the needle much in terms of locking up DEC or getting people to burn SPS for said DEC. So we'll need people to come check out the game, and that's going back to the Killer Whales thing. That has me interested to see what the reaction is to that overall. How many people are gonna A, watch the show, and then B, of those people actually come in and check out the project, like truly inquisitively, right? They want to come see what it's all about and actually try to engage with it in some meaningful way. JB says things won't improve until they do a few things, like first, fix the mobile app. Second, need to make onboarding easier. It's near impossible for new players to crawl out of bronze. I think the new ranked play will hopefully help that. Mobile, I don't think we got to drop that dream. But making the onboarding easier and having a better ranked system, I think are very doable things, and probably things that they are going to change in the near future. Like I said, my guess is land is essentially getting tabled until the second half of the year, when after they finish all the new player stuff. So I would expect, I mean, I don't know if like cosmetics and skins counts as that, but like, Nate had all these really cool ideas on the town hall of things that he wanted to add in, and like tutorials and stuff. So that combined with, a new rank rewards update that Matt has described at length, my expectations, they probably want to get that out ASAP. And when I say ASAP, I'm mainly talking about the Bitcoin halving into summer, right? So the April to June timeframe. Again, I have no idea when, but I'm just saying if I was the team, I would want to make sure that the game is like a much better experience for newer players by that time, right? Really, really by the Bitcoin halving, but by the summer at the very latest. But what has me excited is, this pivot has to be. I wonder if it's being driven by the Bitcoin halving, and maybe I'll do a separate video on this, or if it's also being driven by the fact that maybe there's an expectation that we get a lot of traffic potentially after the Killer Whales thing, which goes live in a month. And so, now my window for them, like, updating player experience and, adding some really cool elements over the next couple of releases, right? Because we have maybe 2-3 more releases until this comes out. I don't know if the ranked rewards is going to be ready, but maybe there's going to be other cool things that, Nate had talked about that they were already done or close to being done, so that when a new player comes and checks out the game, there's like a cool cutscene and there's like a little tutorial that you can walk through, and novice is better. Because that's not a bad goal to shoot for, right? Obviously, the Bitcoin halving's happening in April, but if you can do it a month and a half sooner for Killer Whales, even better. Amil said, just bought 1.5 million SPS. Nice. 8 nodes and $9,000 worth of cards. Planning to buy more nodes next week. Nice. All right, so Amil says, my SPS target is 18 cents. That is when I sell and buy back into Bitcoin. All right. Well, you are a man with a plan. I hope you have the discipline to stick to it, but it seems like you do. So you have this thought out. Now, my question for you is, why 18 cents? Because 18 cents would not be new all-time high, even from a market cap perspective. Or is that just a personal, at that point, I sell out, I take my profit, and I call it a day, and I'm happy. It doesn't matter if SPS goes to $18 afterwards, I'm still happy because I had a plan and I made money. Icy Flow says, were there crypto ads during the Super Bowl? I didn't watch. I don't believe so. At least if there was, there wasn't anything there wasn't anything like crazy that was like memorable. My guess is we potentially see some crypto ads next year. So especially if we hit a new all-time high by February, I wouldn't be surprised if Coinbase jumped in. A lot of people saying, man, it'd be nuts if there was like a Bitcoin ETF, like if BlackRock or Fidelity did like a Bitcoin ETF spot. But I wonder if that it ended up just getting approved too late in the game for them to actually get something done, because I'm sure you need to have your spots, paid for and cleared for the Super Bowl more than a month in advance. So if you don't know everything's going to get approved, I'm sure they probably had an idea that it was going to get approved, but like the ETF approval was like literally a month before the Super Bowl. So hopefully we get something interesting next year in terms of ads. Okay, where are we at now? Where we at? Was there anything else we want to check out here? Oh, I didn't really go down as far on the gaming side of things as I wanted to. So let's just quickly go back there. Okay, so see, look at all these market caps here. And again, I don't know the state of the game for like Axie Infinity, but this thing is already at $1 billion. Like, I don't know how Splinterlands compares to Axie Infinity, but I mean, we are at what, 30 million? Yeah, we'll just say 30 million, right? 29. So we could do like a 30x and we still wouldn't even be at $1 billion market cap. But a 30x times 2, like we could be at 60 cents. And we wouldn't be that high. But if people are earning more in the game than they are in Axie, I think you'll get people to come through. You know what's something that just occurred to me? I don't think that there needs to be, like, I know we talked about like doing a card burning event, and I don't know what the status of that is, but if card prices start going up right now in the game, I don't think that helps anybody. And what I mean by that is, I don't think that helps get new players, because new players aren't looking. We really need there to be a broader narrative for players to come and actually start taking a look at what's going on. Because rising card prices won't do it. A rising SPS price, on the other hand, absolutely will. But a rising card price, nah. Oh, look at Shrapnel. A lot of hype around this game. 100 million. Gaijin Chain down at 83. Star Atlas is only at 70. Interesting. Okay. Cypher's at 50 million. I've heard good things about this as well. Trying to find Splinterlands, but we're not even in the top 1,000, so we got to go down further. Oh my god, are we not even first page? Nope. Shoot. Okay, second page it is. Oh wait, no, hold on. We should be. You know what? It probably doesn't have our market cap right, because I don't think it counts what's staked or something like that. Yes, he has a market cap at 11 million. So obviously this is not, that's not going to help, because we should be at a $30 million market cap, which would actually put us in the top 1,000. Check that out. We would be around like 790. So I don't know who we got to talk to. but we got to talk to CoinMarketCap and CoinGecko and get that fixed. Tony, what's going on? Tony Stobbs, behind on the stream. Do you think Aggie is pitching GLS Arcade Colony? Maybe not so much Splinterlands. Well, professionally, it is his job to pitch GLS and Arcade Colony. So it's not his job to pitch Splinterlands. Now, if you're asking if he would be against the idea or be spiteful to not pitch Splinterlands, I don't think it would be in Aggie's best interest. And I would think that he's logical enough to understand that, the success of Splinterlands would be super beneficial for him, considering he owns a ton of assets there. So, and the fact that he's like super, he's like super active in the Discord and all that. I don't think he's like trying to actively do anything or even passively do anything that would hold Splinterlands back. Almeal, 18 cents is doable. Above that is a risk of big, assuming dump is high. Also, if you see the chart, 20 cents was one of the strongest support last bull market, which turns into strong resistance. Well, that would definitely be near an all-time high for us in terms of market cap. So I can see that. Just got back home. What's up, Wilson? Rising car prices help me to dump them and get more SPS to catch the rise. Yeah. Yo, Virus, what's going on? Happy Paxi Day. Not sure if you have them down in Texas. Man, I cannot believe it's been a year. I have not seen them around in Texas, but I'm sure if I looked harder, I'd be able to find them. But happy Paxi Day to you. I see Flo Claiborne is working on getting the market cap corrected on there. Okay, sweet. Great job, Claiborne. Glad to hear that. All right, where are we at? So 30 million. Okay, hold up. I want to actually do this properly. For us to be at 1 billion, if we were to be at parity with Axie Infinity, which is a little bit of a pipe dream, but roll with me. That would be, what is it? So 1 billion. We'll just say 1,000 divided by 12. 16. That'll get us to an 82 cent SPS. Now that would be interesting. God, can you imagine how much money people would be making from the game every day if it was at 82 cents? But I think people would be selling out like crazy at that point. Wouldn't make sense. Unless we get into euphoria mode where we hit 82 cents and everyone says, oh, we're definitely going to $1, or oh, we're definitely going to $5. Then people like to hold because greed kicks in. Druid's Blood, what's going on? A guild member with many 40K plus in value has decided to sell up. Sad day. Oh, who is it? I mean, it is what it is. There's a lot of people who already sold. So, I'm curious to know if it's frustration with the project or opportunities elsewhere. So, yeah, I don't know. There's definitely a lot of opportunity out there in the crypto market right now, because a lot of people will look at this and say like, oh, I want to get like a easy 5-10x on some of the L1s. I can do that, and then filter down to the mid caps, and then filter down to the low caps, and just keep on exponentially increasing returns. So, Bitcoin's popping up now. If we get an alt season, it's going to be a lot of the large caps first that follow. Vilson says, was this a random BTC live? No, it's my usual Tuesday, but I was busy all morning, so I was not able to jump in earlier. It's just, Bitcoin hit 50K yesterday. We're still kind of hanging around there, and I'm just feeling the hype. How much time was this person in crypto for? Just curious. Gotcha. I don't know who it is, so hopefully Druids will be able to answer that for you. Let's see. I don't know if you guys saw the proposal that was put up. They took the best ideas and combined them into one, which I'm really excited about. So hopefully that does change things up for the game. Actually, let me just reset all these filters. And I don't know if you guys have seen this, but there's only 3 Mantaroths available for sale. There are not very many. There's only 2 right there. So Mantaroth is about to go bye-bye. But how many are available for rent? Only 7. Holy moly. And they're all level 1. Interesting. Okay. Okay, then. Well, good to see card liquidity drying up. That's always fantastic. But we've seen that already for Rebellion. Well, obviously they're not available in Rebellion packs, but I'm just curious what the arbitrage is. 464, 391. Man, that's got to feel great if you bought during the pre-sale. Or you basically if you got packs for less than $3.91. Let's see. Rebellion. What's the ask on this though? 363. Okay, that's not real then. Because if you wanted to dump, you'd be taking a 30-cent hit there. It's a huge spread. But how much does it cost to buy? Let's say we were to use credits, right? If you were to buy, was it 100 packs? 500 packs? Well, let's just say 100 packs. 100 packs times $4, right? So that's 400. And then vouchers are, we'll just say 3.5 cents, 3.4 cents. Times 5 times 105 will be 1785 plus 400. So 417.85. We'll just say 418. 418 divided by 105. Right? Am I doing this right? It'll be $3.98 per pack. So you can't. Okay, so you can't hit that with just 100. But 500 is 10%, right? You know what? Let's just go all the way up. If you were a big spender and you bought 2K, you would need 2,000 times 0.15. So 300. So you need 2,300 vouchers times 0.034. So $78.2. And then 2,000 packs times $4 would be 800. So we'll just say 8,000. So we'll say $8,080 or 80 divided by 2,300. Bam. There you go. You get your packs for $3.51 if you buy 2,000 at a time, which is probably what a lot of these folks are doing here, and then just trying to offload them at a profit. I don't know. It's hard to tell. I mean, the thing is, you could still sell at $3.63 per pack and come away with a 10-cent margin on each pack. But the liquidity isn't really there. I mean, check, it stays. This is $3.63 or 11.5, 11.5. I mean, this is not anywhere close to 2,300 packs, right? This isn't even 50 packs. No, I'm sorry. It's like 60 packs almost. So I can see why things have slowed down significantly. Or you just play the game and you open them and hope that you get awesome stuff inside. Phil says I was pretty much out all day, and when I was home, just did battles, didn't see that. Gotcha. Ola says SPS could be burned by exchange it to some type of utility. I would love more direct utility for SPS. The indirect utility is cool, but it loses its value exponentially as SPS gets higher. So things like staking SPS in order to earn, that's direct utility. I would love to see more of that. I would love to see the SPS utility for land go live sooner rather than later. I would love to see the SPS utility for Soulkeep go live sooner rather than later. But that could be crazy. Like right now, okay, so maybe we solve the SPS problem with the current player base just by having. Oh no, nobody cares about land. That's the problem. Well, no, I'm sorry. Some people do care about land, but not enough people care about land. That I think you'd get like a majority of players that wanted to stake, the unlimited cards and stuff for the gemstones. Drew's Blood says, not sure 3 years that I know of, personal reasons, so I cannot say. Gotcha. Okay. Well, I hope it ends up working out for them. I caved and got some Superman McFarlane NFTs today, only 400 print. Oh, you should talk to Keys. Keys is super into those. I think he got the Batman ones a while back. It's good to see GLUSD hitting its peg. But I can't imagine this staying there. There's just too many people who are holding it now that are going to sell off as soon as that snapshot is done. But hey, you know what? If it works, it works. I don't know how much. Let's see if we can. I don't know how accurate these stats are. Like how much has been minted, how much has been burned. Actually, you know what? Hold on, we can compare with the actual site. So total supply is 272 million. 137 staked. Let's see. 137 staked. And then it said, how much was the total supply? 272? So we've minted this much. We've only burned this much. That does not equal to 272. So maybe this probably doesn't. Something's way off here. Unless it's not counting what's in the DAO. But that's strange. So, anybody here planning to buy moon card packs? I imagine those will be decent. All right. I was going to play a match, but you know what? I think I'm capped out for my reward chest today. So, I'll just save the energy for later. Still earning pretty well, though. 6.4, 4.8, 6.0, 6.0. So I wonder how the incentives will change for me after things go live. Or sorry, the new ranked rewards go live. I don't know how much time I have until then, but obviously we'll continue earning at the rate that we're earning. Just go from there. It was Keys that convinced me. He has been raving about it for a year. Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah, I know you meant home. It's funny, though. I just want to see if you get started on the previous run. All right. The question is why airdrops? What if these games never did airdrops and you just had to earn as the game goes? Why airdrops? Because people love free stuff. It is what it is, but that's what gets people in. And I mean, that's what got a lot of people into the Splinterlands ecosystem, that's for sure, as well as a lot of other ecosystems. Wilson, bro, you got 120 G. Yep, I do. Got a decent amount. And I'm unstaking all of it. I am unstaking all of it. I'll probably end up restaking it again. I just want to see if there ends up being a pop on GLX before the sale. Sorry, before the snapshot. And if there is, then I might buy myself some ice cream. I'm already owed 5 Mooncard packs from the event. Nice. Free stuff devalues everything. I mean, I don't disagree, but it also brings people in. Everybody loves free stuff. Nice. After the snapshot or now? Oh, I mean, if I can get a pretty penny off of it beforehand, then I will definitely consider selling beforehand. Because I think it'll crash back down. Am I giving up the arcade colony side of things? Yeah, I am. But I'm just giving myself the optionality to take the bet, whichever side I want to go on. Druid says, do you think Mooncarts will scavenge value from Splinterland's assets? I think Walking Keys posed the question on his last stream. Yeah, there's no doubt. There's no doubt that a lot of value that could have gone into Splinterlands went into GLS when people still believed in GLS. I'm talking about like when the whales like were really buying heavily into it. That all could have stayed in Splinterlands technically, but they saw opportunity elsewhere and they went for it. I think that the same is going to be said for, same will be said for Arcade Colony when all is said and done. Like I haven't bought anything in Splinterlands in a while, but I know I want to buy some Arcade Colony packs or Mooncard packs. So I don't know if you count that as lost revenue from Splinterlands if I wasn't going to spend it there, but it kind of is. But again, like, here's the thing. I would not be able to show, like 50%, probably even like 90% of the people that I come into contact with, I wouldn't be able to show them Splinterlands and think that they would A, enjoy it as a game, and B, actually jump into it and start buying assets and playing the game. With Mooncarts, I 100% think that I'd be able to show it to, I definitely think I'd be able to show it to like a majority of people and just be like, yo, check out this game. It's a racing game. It's fun. It has Mario Kart vibes to it. You can play with up to 5 friends. And guess what? If you win, you take home a little moolah, right? Like, people will love that. So it just becomes about appealing to different player bases. And, if people come in and they check out Mooncarts, I definitely think that people would explore the rest of whatever Hive has to offer, which would be Splinterlands, right? We've seen it work the other way around. People come into Splinterlands and then they go check out, what are the other games on Hive? Oh, Golem Overlord, Terracore, Rising Star, Decrops. So what we just haven't seen, though, is another game that can pull people into Hive. We've seen Splinterlands be the only one that can actually pull people into the Hive ecosystem. But Mooncarts, I mean, I hate to say it, and I mean to throw no shade at any of the games, including Splinterlands, but Mooncarts looks the most like a real game. It plays the most like a real traditional game, right? Like an arcade style game that anybody, literally anybody, can jump into on day one, on minute one. Just tell them the controls and they'll go. They'll figure it out intuitively as they go along. And if they're better skill-wise than someone else who has a better cart, they have a much better chance of beating that person through skill alone. Just don't crash into walls, all right? Like, be like Luke. Just don't crash into walls and you'll be fine. So in a way, part of me is actually hopeful that Mooncarts ends up being the killer app on Hive that gets people in. It doesn't have to be Splinterlands. Splinterlands will, rising tide raises all ships. I have a lot more hype about Mooncarts right now being able to draw in the masses, because just from simple anecdote of myself, and I think everybody here would agree with me. And if you don't, please let me know. But I think everybody here would agree with me that it is probably easier to go to literally anybody in your network and say, yo, check out this game, meaning Moon Cards, versus check out Splinterlands, right? Now, obviously, there's going to be a niche group of people that really like Splinterlands. Obviously, I'm one of them. And maybe I have a couple friends here and there that I have tried to get into the game in the past. But I can go to my uncle, I can go to my cousin, I can go to my friends, I can go to whoever and be like, yo, remember when I kicked your ass in in Mario Kart? Like, check out this game. You know, it's a fun racing game. You can play it right now. Let's go. And then, you know, we'll have some fun with it. And they're able to play it on day one, minute one. For sure, a little bit. Wilson says, airdrops are the blood life of crypto if done right. True. How about burning SPS for an energy boost type of utility? Well, we do that indirectly by burning DEC. You can buy energy with DEC. But I would love if you could have a higher energy cap or just a faster SPS regeneration rate if you had like more SPS staked. I think sometimes too much is given. Well, that's where the balance needs to be struck. Wilson, I agree. I only got 24K, so I might leave it for now. I was thinking the same though. Sell now, buy low. Yeah, but in general, liquidity injections. All right, KG says putting all my Ethereum into Bitcoin, stacking SPS, going to max out my summoners for the new ranking system. Hell yeah, let's go, KGM. Wilson, I got a few airdrops this month on other chains and really helped me make other plays. He's asking you swapped it now. I mean, look, I'm a Bitcoin maxi, and I'm not saying that I'm selling my Bitcoin by any means. And I always think it's a good idea to buy Bitcoin. But the next narrative that is popping up is a potential Ethereum ETF in May. So do with that information what you will. This is not a financial channel. This is not financial advice. So what if Splinterlands did cosmetics like they said, and then give a free cosmetic to Amazon Prime users, no value attached? We already see Gods, Blancos get in there. I mean, it'd be great if they could set up partnerships like that, but I don't know if the team is like in a position to do that. I think we're like way too small, and we don't even have a marketing department anymore. But I'd love to see partnerships like that. But see, here's the thing: a lot of people are going to look at that and be like, "Wait, what? Like this is a card game? Like how? Like what do I do?" Whereas imagine if you were able to do cosmetics in something like a Moon Cards, where it's just like, oh yeah, even if I'm a Prime user, and even if I don't care about it, my kids can play it. And you know what? My kids are going to earn their allowance money. KJM, if things work out, I'll be flush with money to put back into Splinterlands. All right, KJM, I wish you well. 100% agree. Moon Cards take and love SPL way more here. Yeah, I mean, it's just mass appeal, right? What has the most mass appeal in terms of games? What can get the most people into the funnel? And I genuinely think it's going to be arcade style games. It will only take one super polished game to improve Hive as a whole. Yep. And maybe Moon Cards isn't it, but I would say it's definitely a step in the right direction, right? Aggie even mentioned Candy Crush, right? And again, maybe he was just like name dropping something. Not that I'm saying I'm expecting a Candy Crush, but like Candy Crush literally changed mobile gaming for so many people. So can you imagine if there was like a mobile friendly version of Web3 Candy Crush style game where, you know, maybe you do it in like a certain amount of time and then you get one colony token. And again, like it's just, I would be able to go up to so many people in my life that I know that play Candy Crush and be like, yo, try this Web3 version. And at the end of the week, instead of having nothing to show for your time, you'll be able to go buy a cup of coffee. That's an easy sell, right? That's an easy sell. So I just think that like, this is one of the reasons why I'm really not a fan of the price of packs in Mooncart. I don't know why everything needs to be like $5 and you get, 5 packs or 5 cards. I'd love to see a game. Again, it doesn't need to be free to play, but obviously the pack sales for Moon Carts are going to go towards funding the team. And I get that, but it's like if the team just needed a little less funding, they could probably onboard a ton of people. Now, would that take down the value of some of those cards and packs? Maybe in the short term, But if they're only printing 500,000 packs and they end up selling out, or only sell whatever they need, I think we'll be good. Here's an idea: burn SPS and get a Lambo delivered to your house. Wow, that'd be nice. Run Arcade. Hey, what's up, Rooney? Run Arcade or Arcade Colony will be the best of 3 platforms. Even the 21 billion over 20 years airdrop distribution. That's where I'm leaning towards too. I think it has the most potential because it can have the widest variety of games on it. So Drew says, I bought Heavy in a GLS, but got out after the 7 manipulated tokens. Oh, the 7. I'm not sure the fork to moon carts as is a good idea. Yeah, I mean, I don't mind the colony fork, but I think the script fork is a huge mistake. But I don't think they're going to change it now. KQ forever. If Arcade Colony would be the best, then ironically buying GLX is the play. Well, no, that's not to say there might be opportunities to buy later, but nobody knows. Wilson, I wouldn't swap ETH for BTC right now. Not financial advice, says Wilson. Rooney, this is why GLX is now at 0.06 from point. Dude, it was less than that. It was 0.015. So even now, we're still up 4x. Stake GLX will get the most colony. The fork is where most of the colony will come from. The airdrop won't provide as much as people think because of the way it's set up. Yeah, the airdrop's going to be a slow and steady drip, but it will be a drip. Mooncarts for me is a crucial step in the right direction for Hive as a whole. I agree. What's your prediction for Ethereum? I don't see anything more than a 2 to 3x. Bitcoin, I'm seeing a 6 to 10x. I'm not going to give you a prediction. I don't know where Ethereum's going. I don't know. To me, as a Bitcoin maxi, Ethereum is just the biggest shitcoin, right? So, but that being said, I don't hate Ethereum. I actually think Ethereum has led the way for a lot. They have a lot of scaling issues that I hope are going to get solved by a lot of the layer 2 solutions that come through. But yeah, I don't know. I can see the narrative around Ethereum and a lot of ETH maxis driving a lot of value towards Ethereum and it outperforming Bitcoin from a returns perspective. But it's just not Bitcoin. And with the way that current geopolitical and economic things are happening around the world right now, if you're paying attention, I would not want anything more than to have Bitcoin in a private wallet. Druid's Blood, what was at? Oh yeah, it was at 15 cents before, or 0.15. All right, true if you count Aggie's comment. All right, Luke says, can't lie, I just remembered about Splinter Forge. Oh, I mean, I didn't think about it until you brought it up. Is anybody still playing? How's that go? Ola says, the next hype will be Bitcoin layer 2s, ordinals, and Bitcoin NFTs. These products will significantly take market share from ETH after the halving. Yeah, the ordinals are here to stay. And it's interesting to watch a lot of these Bitcoin maxi podcasts where you got a lot of people shitting on them and you got a lot of people just accepting that this is what it's going to be. It's going to slow down the base layer, but the base layer was never meant to be where, everything happens. We're always going to build layer 2s and layer 3s on top of that stuff. But, I say this now, I've said it before, right? The reason I'm a Bitcoin maximalist is because of the fact that I think ultimately everything will be built on Bitcoin, as it is the only truly decentralized project out there. So it's going to take a while because it's old, and in order to get adoption on a lot of the layer 2s and have all these things on there, it's definitely going to take some time. But it's like somebody, I remember hearing this in 2017, and this always stuck with me, and maybe this will give you guys some perspective. Well, first of all, somebody said we are in the early stages of Bitcoin, right? So of crypto, really, but even Bitcoin. So think back to 2017 or something like that when I first got in, and the narrative at that time was imagine what the internet was like in 1999. And maybe some of you are old enough to remember that. Maybe some of you aren't. I was, right? I was a young kid still at that point. I couldn't even fathom in 1999, right? When it was dial-up internet and, there's like one computer in my family's house, right? Huge desktop. I couldn't fathom the future just a couple of decades away where people would literally be able to stream gigabytes of data and music and movies and FaceTime and all this stuff. They'd be able to stream it not just from, computer to computer, but in mobile devices. Now you have, Apple launching the Vision Pro. We couldn't anticipate how the internet was going to change technology at that point in time because we just had no concept of it. So, Bitcoin, it's a technology that has revolutionized the digital scarcity. We had digital abundance that came about in like late 90s, early 2000s. And all of a sudden it's just like, oh, now, whenever you used to copy a cassette, like a VHS or even like a CD, right, which is digital. Well, actually, no, sorry, not CD, but like a VHS or like those 8-track, whatever, the quality would always degrade over time. And then as soon as we went digital, right, so CDs, they're able to rip those into WAV and MP3 files, the quality stayed the same. And all of a sudden it's just like, wait. Instead of having to have the physical product, we discovered this concept of digital abundance, right, where you can have millions of copies of this, make millions of files, send them to everybody, and they don't lose quality over time. And so that was the innovation of that time. And then, literally like a decade later, the innovation of digital scarcity, which is just as important as digital abundance, came about with Bitcoin, right? And of course, from that, we've birthed NFTs, we've birthed a bunch of other tokens, right? But the true technology that was created at that time was digital scarcity. So being able to like not trust and don't trust, verify, right? So being able to have trustless transactions and understand, decentralized public layer or ledger, not layer. So that technology is still very much in its early phases, right? And if you count, 2009 maybe as the birth point, like just imagine, like we're getting into ordinals now, which, and this is why, like, again, I say that I'm a Bitcoin maximalist, but I like following what's happening in the rest of crypto because I think all of these ideas will eventually make their way back onto Bitcoin, right? They'll be built on all the different layers that Bitcoin eventually has, just because people will understand that they don't want to be building on anything else eventually. So it's interesting to see how all these things will eventually make it back, right? Bitcoin, like ordinals and NFTs and all this stuff. There's even talk about like, how do you introduce a stable coin onto Bitcoin? Can it be done? And if it's done, how would you do that, right? Because that's the one value right now that a lot of people in, we'll just call it like developing nations that are going through currency crises right now, are struggling with, is the fact that like they can't save in their own currency and they don't want to save necessarily in Bitcoin because the volatility over a 3 or 6 month period can be devastating, right? If you're long-term, then it's fine. So it's better for them to save in dollars, but it's impossible for them to get dollars. A lot of these countries like cut off access to dollars and want you to only have access to their tokens. But the value that Ethereum, Solana, even Tron from back in 2017, all these have is the fact that like there's easier access to stable coins and holding your value in US dollars, which at this point, even though it's a fiat currency, it's still the strongest fiat currency compared to all the other fiat currencies out there. So I'm like way off the deep end here. So sorry guys, but taking this all the way back. The other analogy that I wanted to give you outside of like, we can't really conceptualize what's going to be available for Bitcoin and how it's going to revolutionize just technology in general. I remember in 2017, people always used the introduction of the car. I think like the first model of like the Ford car, and everybody would laugh at it because it would get stuck in the mud often, right? And they would look at it and they say, well, it's not better than a horse, right? Look, it's a terrible vehicle. Like why would you want that preferred to a horse? This thing gets stuck in the mud all the time. But what they couldn't conceptualize is the infrastructure that would be built around the new technology, meaning roads, highways, traffic, all of these things that would be built around the car, right? So the technology was there, but people laughed at the technology because it was so basic that it wasn't ready for that type of adoption, but they couldn't conceptualize the technology that would be built, the infrastructure that would be built around the technology. So even now I'm saying like, this is a pretty crazy technology, and I think even now in 20 years or even 15 years, maybe the 2030s, right? We can't really conceptualize what kind of infrastructure is going to be built around Bitcoin, right? And sure, you can extend that to all of crypto if you really want. For me, it's like, okay, crypto is just kind of like a little preview of like what the ideas that people like, because it's easier, cheaper to build, cool ideas and innovate on these other chains rather than on Bitcoin. And a lot of people, there's a lucrative element where they can make a ton of money if they just launch a project or whatever. So a lot of that innovation ends up happening there. But I think ultimately it'll all come back to Bitcoin. Whoa, that was a really, really long digression. Apologize for but hopefully it was beneficial for somebody. Yo, Skyr, what's going on? I disagree about SPL game. For example, I came here as an investor, but the moment I played it, I'm hooked. Now I'm an addicted player. This is an addictive game. I mean, I don't disagree with you. I'm in the same boat as you, Almil. I don't know what you're disagreeing about, but all I'm saying is that I think a game like Mooncarts has way more mass appeal than Splinterlands. Splinterlands has a lot of die-hard players that would join it, myself included. But I think you get a lot more people that would be into casual gaming rather than, getting super into TCGs. And I think you can see that with any traditional game, right? There's more people who play Fortnite or Mario Kart or some kind of racing game online than they do Magic the Gathering. Nice to see you around, Rudy. I agree. Listen, you too. Mooncarts will bring its own community, so more players. I agree. The Ordinals people are repeating the first NFT run on Bitcoin right now. Yep. Every mints and pumps there. Yeah. Everything will EVM to ETH, including BTC and Sol. This is the grand plan. Oh, see, Aruni, I think, is more of a ETH maxi. So this is where we diverge. Derivatives of the future. BTC will have its own derivatives, but incorporate ETH. Listen to Larry at BlackRock. Well, it is interesting to see Larry just go way down the rabbit hole. So I will say that that's bullish for crypto as a whole. 99 internet. I was a prodigy back in 1991. There you go, Liberty guy. Fun times, right? El Salvador and others need Satoshi stablecoin to pay back IMF. All right. So Vilson says, not going to lie, I still like horses more than cars, but I always use the same analogy when explaining this to people. That's a great analogy. And yeah, I mean, I like horses too. Man, it'd be nice to have like a farm, some cows and horses. I've changed. The ghosts of you, much respect for sound gaming. You say what we can only think. Appreciate you, druids. I'm glad you enjoyed the conversation. I always do. ETH is that infrastructure? Maybe you're right, but ETH still has a lot of its own problems. I have nothing against Ethereum, and I hope it's successful. I think ultimately everything is going to consolidate into one. And when I say ultimately, like it could take like multiple decades, but it'll eventually head that way. Once we retire of crypto, we can have a farm. I don't know. I'm on that whole trip of like wanting to just be more self-sufficient. I think I've learned a lot of this from Darkest Night, who I probably need to call back in a little bit. So it's been an interesting journey these last couple of years. Crypto is definitely, if not life-changing, very much perspective changing. Like, it's funny because I still talk to people who it's like, Bitcoin, like, I want to get rich, or I want to, it's an investment. I want to make a ton of money. And it's funny because I don't even view Bitcoin like that anymore. Like, to me, Bitcoin is the exit, right? It's the exit from crazy fiat system that we have that, funds all kinds of things that as a citizen, I don't particularly care for, right? Whether it's wars, whether it's certain, lobbying interests in the government, whether it's central banking that just chooses, when and how to, print more money or whatever the case is. I like math. And at the end of the day, I want to hold something that is governed only by the rule of numbers and not by human emotion and human greed and human whatever. So I do get excited about that. It's no longer about like the investment and how much I can make. I do think that there's obviously a lucrative opportunity if you're holding Bitcoin. I think it's one of the most what's the word people used? It's like one of the most asymmetrical bets, and I'm sure people will say that about crypto in general. It's one of the most asymmetrical bets you can make out there. But I no longer think about it as like, oh man, I need to own as much Bitcoin so I can like be super rich in the future. It's about I want to I just want to get as much value that I have right now into something that is truly decentralized and trustless. So fun stuff, guys. I cannot believe I did not mean to come on here for this long, but obviously I always have a blast chatting with you guys. So we'll try to do it again later this week, maybe tomorrow. I know I need to jump into Illuvium still, and even Star Atlas I'd like to check out and see where things are at. And then I what I need to do is just double back and check on some of the other games that I was like interested in. So My Pet Hooligan, I don't know where they're at with things. The Undead Blocks, I listened to one of their AMAs and it sounds like they had some like weird like legal company issues and now they're back. So again, these are all games that could be interesting and fun. Again, just as fun once we get out and about. But let's see. Rooney's saying ETH is terrible and problematic, but Vitalik is brilliant and has the trust of both crypto and non-crypto community. He's a great community builder. He brings BTC, Sol, ADA, and TradFi today. Yeah, I mean, I have nothing but respect for Vitalik. So I think he's definitely revolutionized a lot of where the industry has gone. But you know, I can think he's brilliant and still not. I can think he's brilliant and still not think that, you know, everything eventually consolidates to ETH. In the same way that like even Charles Hoskinson, right? And this is not me co-signing on any of the things because I know some of these personalities. I don't hear everything that they say, so I'm not trying to co-sign it. It's just going back to 2017 when I first like was hearing about ADA. Whatever you think about ADA and the project, I think Charles Hoskinson has had very many interesting insights and perspectives that I've just learned from. I don't even necessarily agree with that. I've just learned from. So, you know, he's another person in the space that is trying to like, you know, do some interesting things with Cardano, which maybe you like Cardano, maybe you hate Cardano. It doesn't really matter. I don't own any Cardano, so I'm not even trying to like make a thing about it. It's just, there's a lot of brilliant people or very smart people in this space. And it's fascinating to see how they think, because even if they're the ones that don't end up executing, you know, there's people out there that can take their words and create something awesome. And it might take a couple of years, might take a decade, but you never know where the stuff ends up going. So Druids, respect to you as well. Always a blast. Guys, have an amazing rest of your day. I'll catch up with you soon. We'll try to do more of these. Like I said, these streams are going to be a little bit more random now, except for, well, actually, no. I'm going to try and stick to schedules as much as I can, but it just feels like there's so much fun happening in the space. And hopefully we'll get some more fun news from Splitlands this week with there's a town hall, I believe, right? Let me just double check. Yeah, on Thursday. Oh, Thursday at 10 a.m. Okay, interesting. Well, I won't stream during it then. We'll maybe do a stream afterwards. Charles is buying up all games. Intrusion to Ag. Yeah, that'd be fun. OTK on Solana is a dollar play. I don't know what that is, but I'll look it up. All right, guys, have an amazing rest of your day. I'll catch up with you soon. Hopefully we'll have a chance to stream before the next town hall, but if not, definitely after the next town hall. Catch you later. Peace.